All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Montielverse. I'm your host, Jorge Main Event Montiel, coming at you guys here with a couple series of videos here. A lot to talk about in the wrestling world. We're going to start off with WWE. I apologize for the air conditioner, if you guys can hear that, but getting this started. So this past Monday, we all saw it. Liv Morgan had a match with Kairi Sane, and unfortunately, she was injured about 30 seconds into the matchup. Kairi Sane had her in a hold. She pushed Liv Morgan forward in a standard move, and in a standard way of landing, Liv Morgan placed both of her hands in front of her, obviously to cover the mat from hitting her face. And when she hit the mat, you could obviously see, if you go back to the footage, when she landed, she dislocated her shoulder. The shoulder bent, and you could totally see the dislocation. And unfortunately, we got word, and I'm sure you guys have heard from multiple sources across all different forms of social media, that she will be out effective immediately for 6 months, and she will be needing surgery to get this thing straightened out. So not only do we lose one of the biggest stars in the women's division, but we also lose a lot of stories, a lot of good stories heading into Evolution 2, which a lot of people already pointed out the fact that this pay-per-view, this premium live event, has not been thought out with much thought. You know what I'm saying? They hardly put any effort into this thing at all. And I heard a lot of wrestling fans already talking about it, and I agree. They just kind of threw this premium live event at us out of nowhere. They haven't put much thought into it. It's less than a month away. It seems like the sole purpose of the pay-per-view itself is to compete with AEW's All In Texas. I forget if it's July 12th or July 13th. I'm pretty sure it's July 13th. And that's the main source of it. It's not really to give women a platform to show their abilities to the best of their capability, but it's mostly to compete with a competitor. And it's unfortunate. And Liv Morgan was one of the bright spots heading into this thing, because she was building the story with Nikki Bella. We were probably going to see the Bella Twins versus Liv and Raquel for the tag team championships. But now that's no longer going to happen. I suspect that Roxanne Perez is going to team up with Raquel Rodriguez and form that tag team. They're both going to have to put their differences aside and do what's best with the Judgment Day. I know Finn Balor's going to push that idea, and Dom's going to go with it. Although I do see the Bella Twins winning regardless. Another avenue they can take down is they can build a tournament. They can build a tournament, and they can have multiple teams come in there and compete for the titles. Although I advise against that, because let's face it, WWE has never put that much effort into its tag team division, let alone the women's tag team division, in years. And they're probably going to throw a bunch of half-assed teams together. We don't need that. We want quality matches. So I suggest they just throw Roxanne Perez in there, and I suspect that's what they're going to do. But Liv, unfortunately, is not only a big part of that story, but it's also, she was having a story developed between her and Roxanne Perez and Dominic Mysterio in this formulating love triangle, where Roxanne is basically trying to give Liv Morgan a taste of her own medicine when Liv did this to Rhea Ripley. So that's now kind of not going to be executed to the same degree because of Liv's injury. She's not going to be there every week. So we're robbed of two great stories because of an unfortunate turn of events this past Monday night on Raw. So it sucks. And, Liv Morgan's been one of my favorites, and I know a lot of people's favorites. I know, some people hate her laugh and whatnot, but you cannot deny her talent and her work ethic. She's in there every single week, every single night. She gives it full out every single time. And it sucks, because a lot of times you hear people say, well, the women's division is this, the women's division is that. She was one of those that I feel, especially the past 2 years, last year and this year, has been a cornerstone of the women's division. She's partially responsible for, building the women's division the way it is today. You had the Trish and Lita era. You had, the Divas era with the Bella Twins and Paige and AJ Lee. And then you had the Four Horsewomen. And then you had the next generation have to pick it up, where, Alexa Bliss came in. And then Naomi, who's been there also as long as the Bellas have been there. Then Liv Morgan came in, and Rhea Ripley came in, Bianca Belair came in, Asuka. They've all built a great legacy and a great timeline and a great future for the women's division. And now we got Roxanne, next generation. And let me tell you, and I've said this on this channel before, I'm not concerned with the women's division whatsoever in terms of we're not building new superstars or they're not building new superstars. I'm more concerned about the men's division. I don't see a whole lot of guys stepping up. They have big shoes to fill. Because think about it, Jey Uso and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and, you know, a lot of these stars are going to be done in 3 to 4 years. And as of right now, I don't see a lot of people stepping up. You have Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and that's about it. Like, they're not really building Carmelo Hayes up. They're not building Austin Theory up. There's a big gap there. I mean, the women's division has been a consistent, strong introduction and building of legacies and characters that people can get invested in. So I'm very confident in the women's division. When Liv comes back, things are only going to get better. But I do, if WWE plans this thing right and they do care about this premium live event, they have time to save it, but they better start moving it, because there's a whole lot of things that need to be addressed, and this is one of them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you suspect they're going to do? Do you think they're going to do a tag team type of tournament? Do you think Raquel is going to have to relinquish the titles, or do you think she's going to get with Roxanne and take on the Bellas? So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next segment.